So when you think about the journey through secondary school in Nigeria, it really all boils down to what a lot of people call the single biggest hurdle.
Oh, absolutely. The big one.
The big one, the West African Examinations Council, or, WAEC. Passing this exams isn't just about finishing school, it's the non-negotiable key to university admission.
It really is.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something called WAEC Success. It's a very structured prep program from new state schools, and it basically aims to take all the chaos out of that preparation.
And it's a fascinating case study. I mean, it's an attempt to systemize academic success. We so often see students struggle, and it's not because they aren't smart. It's because the whole prep process is just
A mess.
a mess, exactly. It lacks structure, it lacks data, and there's no real accountability. So this program tries to impose a clear, disciplined method on what is, for many, a really stressful time.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to deconstruct this WAEC success roadmap. We need to figure out the core problems in traditional prep that it's trying to solve and really dig into its 30-week structure.
And, crucially, how it connects the WAEC result to the student's whole future, their entire educational path in Nigeria.
We're basically looking for the shortcut to being prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the framing is key here. This is a precise 30-week curriculum covering all the core WAEC subjects. And it's for everyone, students in school needing extra help, and private candidates who are maybe studying on their own.
So it acknowledges the need for structure is universal.
It does.
Okay, let's jump straight into the why. Why is a dedicated external 30-week program even necessary when students are in the classroom for years? It points to a deeper problem.
It really does. I mean, what's fascinating here are the stakes of the WAEC SSCE.
Yeah.
They're just so high. If you don't get credits in 5 required subjects, including English and maths,
The door to university is just slammed shut.
completely blocked. And this program was born from realizing that so many students fail or have to repeat, not because they're less intelligent, but because their prep strategy is just fundamentally broken. They confuse effort with actual results.
So it's a strategy failure, not a knowledge failure. The source material we have highlights a few specific pain points that this whole system is built to fix. Let's break those down.
Yeah, let's. The first one, and it's probably the most common, is just the lack of a clear weekly structure. Connecting what they learn in SS2 to what's needed for the SS3 exams.
So they're just kind of drifting.
They're drifting. They assume they have all the time in the world right up until the exam date is staring them in the face. And that leads directly to the second problem, that classic reliance on
Cramming.
cramming, exactly, that high-risk, last-minute reading binge.
And we all know cramming is for short-term memory, not real understanding. What's the third point?
Well, it hits at the heart of it. Students often have little or sometimes no routine practice with actual WAEC-style questions. They might look at past papers, but they don't do timed, structured practice.
And without that simulation.
Without that, you get the fourth psychological hurdle, the crippling fear of timing, the pressure in the actual exam hall. If you haven't practiced under pressure, all that knowledge can just evaporate.
And the final point, this one is for the parents.
Yes, this is crucial for support. Parents have no real visibility into performance. A student can say they're reading hard, but there's no data. Parents can't see if they're actually working on their weak spots.
So this WAEC Success program tries to fix all of that by, building a scaffold.
That's a great way to put it. It installs a scaffold, a weekly plan, real exam simulation, and simple, clear topic-based feedback after every single mock. It turns a vague, scary goal into small, achievable weekly tasks.
That systemization sounds like the core engine. So let's dive into that a bit more. Section 2. The 30-week master plan. 30 weeks is it's a big commitment. How does it stick to the official syllabus over that long?
The 30-week cycle is very deliberate. It's built to run alongside that critical period from the end of SS2 through the build-up to the SS3 finals. And it is strictly syllabus aligned. They aren't teaching extra stuff. They're teaching exactly what WAEC tests.
But I have to ask about flexibility. I mean, how can one standard 30-week plan work for students from all the different types of schools across Nigeria with different levels of preparation?
That's where the teaching approach comes in. It uses a progressive learning curve. So topics are arranged from the easier foundational ideas to the more demanding ones.
So it builds them up gradually.
It builds them up. It's designed to build confidence first and then add complexity. The goal is to supplement their regular schoolwork, not to overwhelm them.
Okay, so the weekly deliverables are what enforce the discipline. What does a student actually have to do every week?
Every week, it's a mix of topic-based practice questions and timed subject-specific mock exams. And the key words there are timed mock exams.
Replicating the pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Replicating the pressure, the timing, the question format. It moves them from just remembering facts to actually being ready for the exam.
This sounds like very tactical training. Well, let's talk about the logistics for a minute for anyone listening. The cost. If this is meant to be an accessible solution, what's the financial side look like? Can you give us some context for the Naira pricing?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The source material says core subjects are priced very competitively, starting from around 250 to 300 Naira per subject per week.
Per week. Okay.
Per week. And to put that in context, that's often less than the cost of a single bus ride or a cheap lunch in many cities. They also have bundles for the full 30 weeks.
So the pricing is clearly designed to be a small weekly cost compared to the massive cost and lost time of having to repeat the whole exam.
That's the logic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That context is really important. Okay, moving on to Section 3. The sheer number of subjects in WAEC can be overwhelming. The program has to guide students on what to even choose. This is where strategy really matters.
That's a perfect way to say it. The subject streams are organized precisely because university admission demands specific combinations. You could pass with flying colors, but if you chose the wrong electives in SS2...
blocked from your dream course.
Entirely blocked.
Yeah.
So the program uses the official WAEC syllabus groups to guide that choice.
Let's quickly run through the mandatory ones first, the core subject.
Right. Every single student, no matter what they want to study later, has to do the compulsory group. English language, mathematics, civic education, and computer science. That's the foundation.
And then come the elective streams.
Exactly. First, you've got the science group. Physics, chemistry, biology, further math, agricultural science, and geography.
Okay.
Then the arts or humanities group, with things like literature and English, government, history, CRS, IRK, Yoruba, Igbo.
And finally, the more practical route, the commercial or business group.
Which has economics, commerce, financial accounting, marketing, and insurance.
Now, this is where it gets really strategic, I think, the overlaps. Because a student isn't just stuck in one stream, and picking the right mix can be the difference between having options and having none.
This is such a high-value insight, and the program really emphasizes it. Mathematics, of course, is the ultimate bridge subject. It's mandatory for everyone.
But what about the other electives? Give us some examples of those crucial bridge subjects.
Okay, so economics and government are perfect examples. They serve both the arts and the commercial streams. So if a student is maybe torn between studying law and, say, business administration, choosing those two subjects keeps both doors open.
That's smart.
Very smart. And then you have a subject like geography, which supports both the science, stream think environmental science, and the commercial path for things like logistics or urban planning.
The takeaway for you listening here is that subject choice isn't just about what you can pass. It's about hedging your bets for the future. So that course and career advisor feature they have must be critical in preventing huge mistakes.
Absolutely. The advisor is the strategic layer on top of everything. It lets the student look up a specific course at a specific university and see the exact subject requirements for WAEC and for J&B later on. It becomes career guidance.
That's a perfect segue into Section 4, targeted revision. Because prep is one thing, but feedback is another. You mentioned weak area reports. This seems to shift things from just structured learning to data-driven learning.
This is the modern approach. After every single mock, the student and the parent get a diagnostic report. It's not just a score, like 60 out of 100. It's a granular breakdown.
So help me understand the psychological shift here. Instead of the student feeling bad because they got, say, 45% in chemistry, what does this report tell them?
Okay, so it gives them the overall score, yes, but then it breaks that score down by topic. It might show they got 90% in stoichiometry, but only 20% in electrochemistry.
Ah, I see.
That clarity is priceless. It replaces that general anxiety with a specific actionable target. The report literally tells the student, you're good here, but you need to focus your next study session specifically on electrochemistry.
That completely changes how you study. It turns random reading into efficient, targeted revision. Let's switch to the technology behind this. For a program that wants to be accessible all over Nigeria, mobile friendliness and low data usage must be, well, everything.
They're paramount. because data costs and bad connections can be huge barriers. So by making the platform extremely light and efficient, they're deliberately expanding access. It works on pretty much any device, a tablet, a cheap Android phone, even some small feature phones, and of course in school computer labs.
It's a nod to the economic reality.
A direct nod, yeah.
And the login system, I saw it uses OTP. For anyone not familiar, what is that, and why not just use a normal password?
OTP is a one-time password. So the system texts a unique temporary code to your phone number every time you log in. This gets rid of two big problems. First, you don't have to remember a complex password. And second, you don't need a reliable email address to recover it. As long as you have your phone, you can log in. It's simple and robust.
So ease of use is the priority. We should also clarify the program's scope because I'm sure questions come up about registration.
Yes, that's a crucial point. WAEC Success is a preparation and advisory tool only. It does not handle the actual administrative process of WAEC or JMB registration. Students still have to do that through their school or an official center.
And just to confirm the hardware point again, no laptop needed.
No laptop needed. Any simple smartphone is enough to access all the materials.
Okay, so if we connect all this to the bigger picture, Section 5 in our outline makes it clear that WAEC is just step one. This program is part of a whole system.
That's the strategic vision. Absolutely. They're selling a pathway. Step one is mastering the SSCE foundation with WAEC Success. That builds competence and discipline.
And then right after the WAC results are in.
Step two is JMB Success, which is for the UTME, the big university entrance exam. It has its own unique format and subject combinations. But it uses the exact same method-structured, timed practice with constant feedback.
And the thing linking those two exams is the strategic piece we talked about.
Exactly. Step three is the Course and Career Advisor. It's the tool that makes sure the WAEC subjects you pick line up perfectly with the 4 subjects you need for the UTME, which then line up with the course you want to study. It's designed to stop that heartbreaking scenario where a student passes both exams, but with the wrong subjects for their chosen course.
And bringing it all back home, the parent or guardian is supported through this whole process.
That visibility is a huge selling point. The system confirms parents can monitor everything. They can log in, see those weak area reports, and offer real targeted support. It moves them from just saying, study more, to saying, let's work on electrochemistry tonight.
So when you put it all together, what does this mean? The main value here is replacing that chaotic, stressful, last-minute cramming with a precise weekly structure, realistic practice, and confidence that's built on actual, verifiable data.
It's a huge shift in mindset. It repositions academic achievement away from being some measure of innate intelligence and toward being the measurable result of consistent, structured planning and data-driven feedback.
And that leads us to our final thought for you to chew on. If we accept that this kind of detailed, topic-specific feedback, these weak area reports, is the key to unlocking consistent improvement, just think about the potential. What happens when students and parents start to see that success isn't about some vague general ability, but about identifying and systematically fixing specific known weaknesses? What does that kind of precise diagnostic data unlock for the future of education when it's applied consistently week after week?